Welcome back. Been a while since I did any sort of an update. Mainly just because it's been frustrating. We've just been getting so much rain. But I wanted to just do a video on kind of what's going on here on the farm. So ever since, I don't know, early to mid-December, it has just been nonstop rain. And it's not just until February, it wasn't a lot of rain. It would just be like, an inch or so a week, or maybe a little more. So it just kept on adding up, and maybe 1 week you get 2 inches. So it just kind of, it rained for 2 days and then be dry for 2 days. And just right when you think it could dry out and do any type of field work, it's back to raining. So, and it has continued that strongly here in February. I don't know how much, it's early February, but I don't know how much rain we've gotten through January, but it's a lot. We're, as far as heading into the new year, all the ponds and the streams and everything is completely full. Water table's high right now. We're basically replenished off of the drought we had last summer. But anyways, I decided not to plant any small grains in the fall. And really, anybody that planted small grains around here, they had to have planted them basically before Thanksgiving, because basically after that, I don't know, unless you mudded it in, I don't know any way that people could have got a disc in the field since then. It's just been that wet. So I kind of was planning to plant up until maybe mid-December, but I figured, with the problems I was having, with the combine and getting my crop harvested, it just wasn't going to work out. So basically, I just made the decision just to abandon any plans of planting any small grains, which is unfortunate. I was wanting to plant some oats and some rye and possibly even some wheat, and it just never happened. Well, every year I plant this field here into grazing for my cattle, and I graze it off in the spring, try to plant it in the fall, and then also growing the pumpkins last year on the cover crop. I at least was going to do that. I was going to try to get in. It would have been about 12 acres, 6 acres of pumpkin cover crop, 6 acres of rye grazing. Well, with the rye, with both of them, you do need to get it in. Really, the latest will be January 15th. So I came out here, I don't know, I think it was January 20th, probably. I can't remember. Late January. It wasn't like the last couple of days of January, but it was, I want to say, like January 20th. And it was wet, and the forecast showed no dry weather. And basically, I just looked at it as, I had the seed. I had a pallet of rye seed underneath the shed. And I said, this is it. You're not going to be able to get it in unless you go today. And what I mean by that is just no tilling, just putting it on top of the ground, basically. So we had some rain literally coming in that afternoon, and I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to stand up out there. So I hooked the 2640 up to it. Let me walk out here while I'm talking. I hooked the 2640 up to it and the 8300 drill, and I came out here, loaded up the seed, and it was a little wet, but it wasn't where I was bogging down. And I adjusted the seeding rate a little bit higher, and to be honest, I was getting a little bit of seed to soil contact. Some of the discs were doing better than others. Some of it was laying it on top. But all in all, guys, and again, this field looks terrible. I hope this is one of the last videos I have to ever mention about that 42-day drought last year. But this is that field. that went through it. Herbicide worked terrible. Had a bunch of weeds out here. I really would have loved to got this tilled up, but again, no chance at all to get a disc in there because basically this whole bottom 2 acres. All right, sorry, my phone phone died. But anyways, I don't quite remember what I was saying, but it's like this all the way through the field. I got a stand. I'm gonna come in here pretty soon with some liquid nitrogen and try to get it going because I'd love to be grazing. Really, you want to be grazing here if you're gonna do some graze small grains. You need to be getting it. You need to start grazing it at the latest in March. You can see some of it's pretty small. Still pretty small. There's some seeds right there on top of the ground, but yeah, everything I've heard about rye, I mean, I've heard people, you know, applying it by airplane and people just broadcasting it on top. So it's very hardy. So I'm interested to see how it does. It got a great stand up here where it was real sandy and the disc went in. I mean, look down there. It's green. Yeah, again, not ideal, but there's nothing I could do. Well, as far as the cover crop rye goes for the pumpkins, today we are finally, I think, just dry enough to get a disc in. First time in probably over 2 months. So I'm gonna get my 6 acres of pumpkin cover crop tilled up with the disc, and I already got my fertilizer spread on it. I just put straight potash, and I'm gonna go ahead and get it seeded. It is very late. This is the latest. I planted some oats this late before, but I've never planted any rye or wheat this late before. So again, we're early February. The problem with it is we're running out of winter. With the pumpkins, it's okay. You're not going to plant the pumpkins till mid to late June, so it's fine. What I want is height on the. Try to get some height on the rye, and I'm going to have to plant it really thick. And really, I just want a good, nice, thick cover crop that I can roll down and plant the pumpkins into. I have no idea if it's going to work. Currently, you can see right there. There's some trees actually starting to bud or whatever. It is 73 degrees today in early February. We always have a week like this in February where it gets a little warm, but the extended forecast looks like we could potentially be in the upper 70s, low 80s. I don't understand that. That's crazy. So the rye is going to take off really quick.